I'm Richard, at Richard on the forum.
I'm Joey, at J1Daryl on the forum.
Shannon, at Shakao on the forum.
I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the forum.
We got it right twice in a row.
Yeah. That first round of intros was just for you live watchers. You can tell your friends about that, brag about how you got to see us do this, legendary introduction that isn't going to make it into the YouTube video. Anyway, so like I said, we're going to be doing something kind of special today, which is we are doing a streaming battle, except it's not a battle because it's not a competition and we're not going to pick winners. But we're going to have Shannon and Daryl both coding at the same time, making their own games. And so I should talk a little bit about how the rules for this are going to go. Basically, they have both been told the theme of the game, kind of a genre, ahead of time. But we're going to give them two mechanics to kind of make things more interesting. And they're going to be making a game between now and the end of the stream at 2 o'clock. We'll actually probably cut it off at about 1:50 so that we have time to play the games and kind of talk about them a little bit. And Joey and I are going to be commentating while these two are coding. Remember, you guys mute yourselves when you are not being interviewed. And we'll be zooming in between all of the different screens. So the theme for this competition, the one that Shannon and Daryl have already been told about, is it has to be a game that takes place inside of a restaurant.
Okay. So besides that, we got our special one. So I'm going to change my camera a little bit.
Yep. So Joey has done some prop work for us. And he's now revealing our extra mechanic.
Which is, it's a 3-course meal.
Yeah. So your game must include a 3-course meal. That is appetizers, entree, and dessert. And so you're still, free to interpret the game however you want. But it's got to be in a restaurant, and you got to have a 3-course meal.
Okay. I might interpret 3 courses pretty broadly.
Okay. We'll determine if that's a legal choice at the end when we're talking about the games that got made. But with that, you guys should be coding now. Start coding.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Should have already started. And just a reminder, in about half an hour, I believe, halfway through, we're going to be adding in one more twist.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And even Joey and I don't know what the second twist is. We came up with a bunch of them, and we're going to choose one at random. So
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ooh, so both starting off in the top map editor. Strong choice.
Should say it's a
I guess
beautiful day here at MakeCode Stadium. Perfect conditions for doing coding. Oh, Shannon, can you mute yourself?
I muted them both. Don't worry.
All right, great. So starting out, looks like Daryl is going with the dungeon tile set. This is a tile set that was contributed to us by a Microsoft employee, Hans. And I won't say his last name because I don't know if he wants me to. But yeah. He made this really awesome castle-like dungeon tile set that you can get to in the tile editor. We liked it so much we gave it an entire category.
Yeah. And it's not just the walls or anything. It's stairs and there's a statue, which I don't think we include in this because it's bigger, but it's in the Sprite gallery.
Yeah. So all
the crystals. The crystals too, which I see all the time now.
True. The crystals are very popular in the orbs. So all of the tiles by default in MakeCode Arcade are 16 by 16. We actually support some other tile sizes under the hood, but you can only really get to that in JavaScript. This is something that we're kind of looking to improve in the future, but for now, tile sets are 16 by 16. So it looks like Shannon is drawing some tiles.
Ooh. Wonder if we can guess what the tile she's going for. There's a little purple thing with a black mark on the right side. Maybe it's like a place to deposit food in a line.
These look like pipes.
They do look like pipes.
They could also be paths.
Ooh. Oh, she's drawing a lot of different.
Yep. I think we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So, Joey, do you think that this dungeon-based restaurant that Daryl has made is going to be health code compliant?
Well, usually dungeons are a little mossy, I guess, and moldy, I feel like.
Yep, I feel like...
which is not a good thing.
Yeah, I
you
guess
see a lot of rats. That's probably not going to be so great for the health code. It's probably not getting the A+. Ooh, picking our first sprite over here. Okay. Thought he was going for a skeleton or ghost skeleton.
Oh, hovering over the monkey. Went with the snake.
Now, do you think the snake's going to be served, or is it going to be the server?
No. I love the snake. I don't think I've ever eaten snake, which is something I'm okay with because I like snakes. They're cool.
Yeah.
I mean, don't, but. Oh, looks like we're getting a chef hat on the snake.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is going to be hard to beat already. In this not competition.
Now he's looking up reference images for a chef hat.
I guess it is a bit more of a top hat right now.
Very good. If you ask me, it's not poofy enough.
Yeah. Do you think that a chef that is sticking its tongue out all the time is going to be health code compliant?
I don't think there's any rules about that, to be honest. It's not really a scenario that they envisioned having to make rules about. Luckily, though, the snake has no hair, so it's already headed there.
I guess it is sort of nobody said dogs can't play baseball sort of thing.
Cool. Well, while we're waiting here for kind of the game stuff to start going, what are some games set in restaurants that you have found memorable, Joey?
Well, a big one is probably Overcooked or any of that genre that it has spawned, I would say.
Love it.
Very good games, very multiplayer focused, great for if you're around the couch and you have 4 controllers and family and no experience amongst lots of them, because you can just kind of jump into it and try your best and let things burn. Any favorites for you?
Another one that comes to mind immediately is Cooking Mama.
Yes, yeah.
Which is a fun set of games. Not really set in a restaurant, but it's about cooking, so it's definitely like tangentially related. It's also Diner Dash, which I don't think I've ever actually played myself, but I know a lot of people are big fans.
I know there was one that came out on PC, or a new version of it came out on PC recently, and it was very interesting. I'd have to look it up, but I don't remember. And it takes place in a food truck, and you choose your dishes at the start, and each one gets a button sequence that you have to do. It's a very interesting mechanic. We'll see how they build up their restaurant empire, though.
Interesting. Looking over at Shannon's game, it appears that this is actually a platformer. So these are not pipes, I'm guessing, like I originally thought. But we'll have to wait a little bit more to see if this kind of coalesces.
Ooh. Strong choice, getting a circle.
Why is that? Joey, could you break out?
You can make
choice.
Well, lots of fruits are circles, right?
True.
Lots of food in general are circles. Plates are circles. Pizzas are circles. Burgers are circles, which, yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong if you make a circle, if you're making food.
You convinced me.
Donuts even have 2 circles. Ooh.
So again, while we're waiting in this little kind of downtime area, let's talk a little bit about tile maps in MakeCode Arcade. So what are tile maps useful for, Joey?
One big thing is just laying out a background. So if you want to make a nice background that's, has a bunch of images on it, that's the #1 use, I would say. If we look at Shannon's game, she's also got some walls on hers, which means you can't move past certain tiles. So it gives you a nice restriction and lets you make backgrounds that are larger than the screen.
Yeah. So I would basically say that tile maps are for building the world of your game. They let you build a map, and they also let you take advantage of the fact that you can repeat sprites to build up a world. It can be very time-consuming to do a lot of pixel art, and especially if you are hand drawing every location in your game. Tile sets and tile maps let you kind of do the art once and then use it in a bunch of different places and also tweak it. So Arcade has a pretty limited color set. We do that on purpose. There's only 16 colors. And part of that is so that it runs better on hardware, but also a lot of these older video game systems had reduced color palettes too. And we found that like having fewer colors to work with actually makes it easier to make art in a lot of cases. A lot of times when I'm doing pixel art, personally, I only use 4 colors, something like a Game Boy style color palette. But when you have these limited color sets, you have to be creative in how to make a bunch of different assets. And one easy way is to just swap out colors. So the dungeon tile set that we mentioned before, right now, Daryl is using the dark form of the walls and tiles. But if you were to go into that category, you would see there's also green walls and light floor tiles, which just gives you a nice little chance to, put in some variety without having to tweak your art too much.
Ooh, looking at Shannon's screen, I see a new editor that I'm sure we've seen before, but we haven't seen it in a little while at least.
Yeah,
you want to?
Like has added the animations package.
So I was curious, why are some of the pixels on the image a little bit lighter than the other ones?
Yeah, so in the animation editor, what you're doing is you're making a bunch of different frames of images, and then they get played, at an interval to kind of give the idea of an animation. But sometimes when you're drawing frames, it's really useful to see the frame that you were working on last, the frame before this one, so that if you're trying to do something like a smooth movement, you can see where all of the pixels were, and you can try and kind of line up your next frame so that it matches the previous one. So we have a little feature for this where you can show the previous frame, and you get it by pressing the button that looks like a bunch of layers in the bottom left of the editor. It's down there by the size of the image. I think it's actually cut off in this view. I had to do a little shenanigans for making all of this fit inside of OBS. So both of the editors are a little bit cropped, and I apologize for that.
Let's see. If I remember right, the technical term for that one is onion skin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I just like it because, as far as I can tell, it was just called that because onions have layers.
That is true. So if you're just now joining us because we started the stream a little early today we are doing a coding not competition, but sort of a competition between Daryl and Shannon. They are both making a game. The theme that we have is the game must be set in a restaurant, and it must include a 3-course meal.
Yes. And we're going to be throwing in another one in just a little bit, another 15 minutes.
Yep. And well, it looks like both of our participants have decided on what their game is going to be. And so I think it's a good time to go into an interview. Let's pop over to Daryl and see what he's doing. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Tell us a little bit about your game.
Well, it's going to be heavily Overcooked inspired. And I'm right now just creating a bunch of images for my game. So I've got, you're going to be making burgers mostly. So I've got a bunch of ingredients. These are like the layers of your burger. And they're sort of going to stack overlapping on top of each other to hopefully form a coherent looking total burger. And the orders are going to come in and, you're going to have to include different ingredients depending on the order. And so hopefully this ends up looking okay. Yeah, so the ingredients are probably going to show up on these crates. And then you're going to have to like pick up a plate and pick up ingredients and then drop it off, something like that. But we'll see. I'm definitely winging a lot.
Cool. Well, that's the purpose. You're gonna have to wing more once we throw in other stuff. So,
Ooh, yeah, fun.
This is true.
Yep. Should say burgers and onions, 2 foods with layers. Sorry, Joe, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just getting ready to mute so we can switch over.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Daryl. We'll let you get back to coding. Let's pop on over to Shannon's game now. Hey, Shannon, how's it going?
It's good. Yeah, it's going.
The Soup. Great variable name. So tell us a bit about your game.
Yeah, so the idea is that you're in a restaurant, but you're inside like the walls of the restaurant. So these are pipes. And something's gone wrong in the restaurant. So you have to connect whatever is coming out of this pipe to like the correct other pipe so that the restaurant can function as intended.
Cool. So it's a very would you say soup heavy restaurant?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna do 3 courses, and they were all gonna be soups.
I guess that does work.
So
Nice dessert soup coming up.
yeah, chocolate soup.
Whipped cream and chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
And it looks like that player character has gravity. So is this a platformer?
It is a platform. Well, yeah.
Oh, I love the little dust cloud. That's great.
That's beautiful.
Also, was this at all inspired by the little dirt moats from either My Neighbor Totoro or Spirited Away?
Yes. So it's inspired by Ratatouille, no copyright infringement intended, and I couldn't make it a rat, so I made it a Sprite thing, moat.
It's already adorable.
Already my favorite character from Spirited Away, so I'm happy. Characters,
Yes,
group
the best
of character.
Yeah, I like the guy with the mask. Anyway, we'll let you get back to it.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I use the Sprite data extension? Is that within bounds?
Yeah, that's allowed.
I think anything we've used before, probably.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I keep cutting you off, Joey. I'm gonna try to stop doing that. All right. We'll let you get back to coding, Shannon.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, checking back in on Daryl's stream. It looks like he's made some plate sprites. He's defining some functions for making plates, and he's running into a very common bug inside the MakeCode editor, which is if you have 2 functions with the same name and you try to rename them, then they get like locked in this weird entanglement state.
I've never run into this one before.
It happens if you have a function and then you type in the name to match another name and they become like weirdly linked. I think it's fixed in beta. It's just broken on live in arcade.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Weird. Okay.
Buddy. All right, so he's got make plate and make ingredient.
Plate inst, so instance of a plate?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you define as an instance, if that's a term that's not commonly used outside of programming languages?
Yeah, so it's just a single object, I guess. I'm trying to think of it on the fly, but so used to just thinking of it that I'm having a little bit of trouble. So if we have a sprite, I would think of that as an instance of the general sprite objects, right? Yep. Because there is a class of things that are sprites. There's a group of things that you can call sprites. And so an instance of a sprite is a single sprite, what you look at.
Yep. I think that's a perfect way to describe it. So in programming languages, we often have a concept of types. And for the most part, we try to hide these from you in blocks. You still obviously can't do things like using a number where you should be using a string and things like that. But one of those types in Arcade is a sprite, and all of the different images that appear on the screen and move around and have properties and those sorts of things. For the most part, they're sprites. Some of them aren't, like the tile map. Tile map's not a sprite, but most of the other things, projectiles, sprites, the snake, the soup flying across Shannon's screen, those are all sprites.
And sometimes you'll see this when you try and drag something into a slot and it just doesn't fit. Like if you try and drag a number into a sprite say block, it'll just pop out because we don't let you put a number in there currently.
Yeah.
Though we could change that in the future to be like console log.
Yeah.
Take any.
All right.
I thought I did that.
It might be done in beta, but not on live.
Yeah.
So taking a quick look at the time, it's 1:12 now. We're going to be introducing our extra mechanic in 15 minutes, 18 minutes, somewhere around there.
Got it all ready to go.
It's in a pot.
Boiling, getting ready, just like all good pasta.
We took a lot of inspiration from Iron Chef for this one.
Yeah. This was the closest I had that had 2 slots to put in.
Okay. And I'm going to apologize for the stream quality. I don't know how it's turning out. Joey, have you been watching it? Is it okay?
It seems totally fine to me. If anybody has any complaints, I would be interested to see them.
All right. Cool.
But it's running fine on my device.
We tried to do this a week ago, and it didn't. The stream ended up being completely unwatchable. This time we're recording it though, so that even if there are network problems, we'll upload it to YouTube later, just like we do all of our MakeCode Arcade Advanced streams.
We'll say for last week's, I think it might have been the recording that was particularly bad because I had that running in the my second window as well, and it wasn't as bad as when I tried to watch it back afterwards.
Yeah, I got complaints from a few people that it was bad during the stream, so it might have just depended on your network connection and how close you are to a data center. Who knows? All right, so let's take a look at how they're progressing. It looks like Shannon has different forms of soup now. I see orange soup and pink soup. Probably a mulligatawny or a minestrone. We'll have to check back in later and ask her what these specific soup flavors are. Daryl, it looks like, has gotten to his plate function and ingredient function are working as intended. He's got plates spawning on top of the different crates and ingredients all spawning on the same plate. But yeah, looks like he's progressing as well.
Nice. Well, let's see. If we're doing a restaurant game, I guess we could talk about things that we've made. What's the most interesting thing you've made in the kitchen?
What, me?
Yes.
I don't cook.
Yeah, fair.
No, I eat terribly and buy pre-bought things, or I hope my mom's not watching the stream because she sometimes watches these, and she probably doesn't want to hear that. How about you?
Just a variety. Every once in a while, I'll do a steak on a cast iron skillet, which is the easiest thing I've ever done. You can just put it on there for a couple minutes, and then you pretend like it's actually good. I also have an Instant Pot, which makes things very easy. You can just pour a bunch of ingredients in there, and then half an hour later, it probably tastes okay.
Shannon is now drawing her adorable dust character holding something above its head. And I just love this thing. So cute.
Nice. And it looks like Daryl's added in the tile map world tile. I don't know the current name for it. It looks like just tile map extension.
Tile map.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can find out more info about this extension on the MakeCode forum. This is an extension that Daryl and I kind of worked on together to add some more functionality to the tile map category. It adds a lot of extra blocks that you don't have just by default in the scene category. So if you're making tile maps and you're not able to do exactly what you want to, or you feel like something's missing, go down to extensions and add this to your project, because there's a good chance we had the same thought.
Let's see. I don't think we've done a full stream on this, but it was used in the last not competition stream as well.
Yeah. We'll probably do a stream on it next week or so. We've been trying to highlight a lot of extensions lately, so we'll see how that goes. Aw. Shannon's character is jumping up and grabbing soup from the air and holding it above its head, which is pretty cool. This stream, by the way, is brought to you by the Open Curly Brace, the official punctuation mark of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. How have curly braces changed your life, Joey?
Well, they make me like JavaScript a lot more than Python, but I'm not really sure beyond that.
It's true. We love Python here at the MakeCode team, but we all love JavaScript more, I think.
At least 3/4 of us in the call. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, getting ready. I'll put my dish on the table again to get ready for serving up the twist.
And I think we've given participants enough time now, so let's go to our second check-in to see how things are going. This time, Shannon's going first. Hey, Shannon.
Hello. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Also, yeah, chugging along.
Cool. So it looks like you've got your character jumping up and grabbing soup out of the air with its bare hands.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, you know, Sprites are magic, so they are able to hold these spheres of soup as they
Hey,
fly through.
I was not trying to question anything. I think that this is totally within the logic of your game world.
And have they washed their hands recently, or is this going to be a health code violation like Daryl's seems to be?
That's a good point. I'm going to say, sort of voice of God, that they wash their hands in between each soup thing.
Perfect.
Not shown
You
on
don't
screen.
realize is that the soup pipes are connected to a filtering apparatus before they're dispensed into, you know.
Bowls on the other end. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Gotta say, chef isn't doing much work at this restaurant.
Well, they have to put the right bowls under the right, soup pipes on the other end.
True. That is cooking that even I could do.
Maybe there are chefs on the other side too. So there's like
Yeah.
one chef on the left putting stuff into the pipe, and then the other one
Oh, yeah, I
outputting
think
it.
these are just connected to like our national soup reservoirs scattered
Oh,
throughout the
yeah.
United States. Those were put
Giving
in
them too
place
much
by
credit.
Hoover, I believe, as a strategic reserve of food for hard economic times.
Right.
Okay.
All right, we'll let you get back to work, Shannon, unless there's anything else you want to tell us about your game and how it's progressing.
Yeah, well, there's 3 kinds of soup, so you have to match each one to the right pipe. And then I'm thinking when you have done like one of each kind, there'll be like a time limit and you'll progress on to the next course. So it'll be 3 courses.
All right.
Is the plan right now. We'll see how that wild card mechanic plays in.
Okay.
It's true. All right, let's head back over to Daryl. Hey, Daryl, how's it going?
Hey guys, pretty good. So I'm working on the collision mechanics so that when I run into these ingredient boxes, I can like pick them up. Turns out that's pretty tricky, but I think I have it kind of working now. You can see that the snake is sort of saying which side he's colliding with, and then I can do some more work from that. So I had to go left from the location of the sprite and then see if that tile is a picker-upper tile. And then I need to search for which ingredient is on that tile, which is going to be a little tricky. But so it goes.
All right, cool. Well, good luck with that. We'll check back in to see how you're doing in a few minutes. Gotta say though, Snake with the chef hat is just a great choice.
Yeah, I think so.
Coming out of the gate strong.
I do have a question though about how the snake is picking up these ingredients in plate.
Well, we'll see.
It does have a strong tail. Maybe it's just like swooping them.
I mean, it looks like he has a very strong tail. He's just sort of holding that tail up. So I think it's probably going to balance on the tail.
All right. Well, answer these questions and more next time we check in. Thanks, Daryl.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably time for our twist.
Huh? Oh, I think we got a little bit more time before we throw in the twist.
Is it? Okay.
Or do you want to do it now? I thought we said 1:30.
I thought we did 2, but I thought that was when we were going till 2, so I'm not sure anymore. Either way.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. Since we're only going to 1:50, let's go ahead and introduce it now. Okay. So, Daryl, Shannon, if I could have your attention.
So we got our thing.
This is going to be a second restriction on the game that they are creating, and Joey and I have beforehand prepared a bunch of these that Joey is now going to fish one out of this pot, and we will see what the extra mechanic is. This is something that must be required in the game to be in contention.
Okay. And it is pasta.
All right.
So you must include pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Take that out.
It's really interesting. I think pasta is soup adjacent, so there's something there. Daryl's gonna have to make some pasta burgers or something. We'll see. Well, it looks like right now he is doing spaghetti and meatballs.
Maybe he was just waiting for the second type of dish to add.
Yeah, that was a good question. There's a lot of strategic preparation of this game, I think. You have to decide what you're working on, when the next twist is going to come in. But we'll have to see how both of our participants interpret this theme and get it into their game, because it must include pasta. By the way, guys, this could have gotten much worse for you. So, pasta.
Before we did them, I had a few other ones like flowery.
I assume by flowery you mean like the flowers that grow in the ground, not flowers that you would find in a restaurant.
Well, yeah, so it's spelled flower, flower Y.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Or must include monkeys. That's always was in there, but maybe next time.
All right. Well, while our contestants keep working on their games, have you seen any cool forum games lately, Joey, that you wanted to kind of highlight? So the forum, which is usually up on the stream, but is not today because of how I laid out this OBS setup, is forum.makecode.com, and you can go there, post your games, get feedback, talk about game design, talk about MakeCode, and all sorts of other things. There are lots of games being posted there every day, so check it out.
Yeah. So there's been a lot recently, actually. A couple that stood out would be Nano Racer. I really enjoy that one because I've played several that are similar to that. I'll post that in the chat right now, too, in case anybody wants to take a look. And let's see what else I can find. Did you have any that came to mind right away while I'm looking?
Well, my suggestion was actually going to be another one from the same author, the Charred Earth game.
Just pulled that one up too, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'll post that in here as well. But yeah, there's been a lot, so it's very hard to come up with some on the spot, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. We've been getting an influx lately.
But yes, it's been a great time. Lots of variations on Daryl in the stream, obviously. He has a video series on creating a platformer, and so lots of variations on that.
Yep. You should totally check out the cat jumper videos. I think they are on the homepage of Arcade. So if you go to arcade.makecode.com, you should scroll down and you should see those videos linked there. But you can also find them on our YouTube video along with all of our streams. So we're doing the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. This is kind of an unusual stream for us. Usually we're just kind of coding games collaboratively on one screen. But you know what's better than that? You know what's twice as good as that? 2 screens. On Fridays, we like to do fun stuff like this. If you have any suggestions about what you would like to see on the stream, topics you'd like to see covered, or if you like seeing us do weird stuff like this, let us know in the chat or on the forum. We're pretty responsive. If we get a request for covering something, we'll probably try to do it that week. No promises, but we want to cover these things.
Yeah. I need to stop looking at the forum games while we're streaming.
The Nano Racer one is very addictive because it has a best time, which is whenever someone posts a game on the forum with a best time mechanic, immediately all 4 of us start like competing against each other in the teams, and it kind of derails work for a while. The other big one was Excel Racing. That one was fun. And then one of them was the one that we made on the stream. I don't remember what the name of that game was. Closing Time at the Fish Market or something?
Yeah.
This was like a while ago. But we made a game where you had a shopping cart going through an underwater supermarket, and we're trying to fill it up. And it was extremely difficult. We did not tune that game very well, and Shannon definitely got the best score.
See. Oh, and speaking of forum games, since I'm not sure we mentioned on here before, we do have a category on the home screen for forum games as well. So user submitted games. They're under the community games carousel, a little bit below halfway down the screen, I believe. And every once in a while we update that by just pulling in some ones that we have taken notice to, and that would be great to advertise, put up on the home screen.
So we do not take requests for that category, but we like to highlight some of our favorite community games. And every once in a while, like Joey said, we'll update it just to show some new ones. So if you have a game that you think is pretty good, totally post it to our forum, and hopefully we can take a look at it and show it to some other people. Another thing that's fun to do with MakeCode Arcade and that's located on our forum is game jams. So we're not doing a game jam right now, but a game jam is a fun little hackathon that usually is over a week or two that lets you, where you get to make a game to fit a theme. And so I don't have anything to announce right now, but I will say we are going to be doing more game jams in the future. And we've also gotten some feedback that itch.io is not the best platform for a lot of people because some schools just block all .io domains. So we're going to be looking for alternative ways to submit the games too. So we'll have more info about that when it's a little bit closer. But game jams are a lot of fun. Usually some combination of all four of us also make a game. And we do a blog post afterwards, kind of just highlighting some of our favorites. You can see the blog post from the last game jam on the MakeCode blog.
Yeah, I feel like we always all try to make it a game, but sometimes we get derailed a little bit by like seeing something while we're making the game and just making an extension instead.
Yep.
That's what happened to me last time.
All right. Should we check back in with our participants?
Sounds good.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you putting pasta into your game?
Oh, it's just gonna be an ingredient, so you might get pasta in the middle of your burger.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're technically following the rules. So
Yes. Check it out. So I got ingredient picking up going, kind of. So bump into that, and I get that ingredient or that ingredient. Actually, it just destroys ingredients right now, but you know, I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, looks great. So keep at it. And
Will do.
have you ever had a pasta burger?
You know, no.
So I haven't either, but I feel like it's somewhat close to one of my favorite types of burgers, which is the cowboy burger or something like that, depending on where you go. And it's like fried onion straws on top.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
Well,
So it might have the same sort of thing going on. Like maybe if you burn the pasta first, then it will work.
yep. And it's part of the mission statement of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream to be innovative and pushing the boundaries of foodstuffs. So glad to see you, you know, moving that envelope a little bit farther down, Daryl, and making some
Absolutely.
Jacqueline did have a good point that lasagna isn't that far from a pasta burger. I guess it's missing a bun, pretty
I
much.
guess that's true. Yeah, but it does have ground beef and cheese and layers. Another food with layers. We have a theme today. All right, let's head over to Shannon. Thanks for talking to us, Daryl.
Of course.
Hey, Shannon. How's it going?
Hello. It's going. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Is spaghetti
right.
gumming up the pipes, so to speak?
no. Well, is ramen pasta?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's pasta adjacent.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll count it. Wait, let me check with the judges.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
I'm good.
Yeah, yep. Thumbs up.
Cool. I feel like ramen is close enough to the soup theme that I can just include it here. And each of these is going to be a course, I guess. So yeah. And then I think later I'm going to flesh out this tile map so that they're not immediately in the player's line of view.
Okay. Cool. Well, I like how enthusiastic your dust moat chef is.
Yeah, who doesn't love soup?
Yeah. Did you have ideas for the other types of soup yet?
Oh yeah, here. Let's see.
So it's
maybe
ramen. Ooh,
steak.
strawberry.
That's dessert. That's an appetizer. I don't know. Mint soup seems plausibly like something that could exist. I don't really.
It
That
does
cleans
sound
your teeth
really-
up for the main meal.
All right. Cool. We'll let you get back to it. And your many flavors of soup.
Ooh, chili sauce is a booster. That was one of the other mystery ingredients that I had in the bowl, so that could have happened.
All 3 courses must include chilies.
Ooh. A chili dessert.
There's plenty of good chili desserts.
That's probably a taste. I
Yeah.
don't think I can place one.
I've definitely had like chocolate with spicy things in it before.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I've had spicy chocolate. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, looks like Daryl right now is working on spawning ingredients.
Looks good. That's a lot of lettuce.
Got a lot of lettuce. Hey, how do you feel about lettuce?
Pro lettuce in general, yeah.
Yeah, I'm anti-lettuce, I think.
Oof.
It's basically water with paper in it. It's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pro
I do like
anti-lettuce. Come at me, lettuce council.
You also do get no calories? I'm sure there's like a few, but basically nothing. That's fair. I do like the follow behavior that Daryl's added in so that his burger just happily follows along when you touch it.
It's very adorable to see the snake walk close to it and then have it kind of just pull the ingredient over.
Like
really
you don't see it right behind the snake. It's whipping its tail around and picking the ingredient up and putting it on the plate. I think that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're coming down to the 15-minute warning for both of our contestants. Not contestants. It's not a contest. Everybody wins.
Yes. Not contestants is the correct terminology.
Yeah. Make sure to stay tuned to this stream after we're finished, by the way, because at 2 o'clock we're going to be having MakeCode in the Kitchen, which is hosted by Jacqueline. And she'll be probably making some projects using the Circuit Playground Express.
And if you're watching it live, you can ask her questions in the chat right now, too.
Also call out on Thursdays, we've been doing digital all-star streams in partnership with the Microsoft stores. So these are streams that we're doing with professional athletes from the NFL. And it's been a lot of fun so far. I think this last one was done with Pelly. And do you remember what the athlete's name was?
Kevin Byard, I believe.
Yes, Kevin Byard from the NFL.
Whoa, what happened on Daryl's screen right now?
Looks like when you have a really long variable list, something weird happens.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. That's cool.
Oh, is it for renaming the index variable? Okay, that's okay.
It's always fun to see new bugs appear on stream. My favorite bug in the history of MakeCode, by the way, was that it used to be whenever you were in the JavaScript editor and you typed the word cursor, it would like turn just into a rectangle of a solid color. It was the weirdest thing ever. If you had a variable named cursor, if cursor was part of another word, or if you had cursor in a comment, it would just turn into a rectangle.
That was some weird thing to do with like making all the words their own like span of the same word or something. Okay.
I don't remember, but it was pretty funny.
You can kind of do that still with making an extension with every word if you want.
Speaking of extensions, do you have any extensions you're working on right now, Joey?
Ooh, there's a couple. I made a little one for rotating sprites, but I realized that I need to make it in C++ to make it fast enough, probably. And that's a pain, so I put that on hold. Also made a status bar one that I need to finish up. That makes so you can do like status bar for enemy's health. Yes. Which is done. I just need to put documentation, and I'm lazy.
Cool.
Are you doing anything?
I've been working on music stuff. So we have some music APIs right now, but it's kind of hard to do longer songs. And so I've been working on some things to make that easier and also have do some more modulation and things. I'm the resident music guy, I guess, on the MakeCode team. Me and Tom, probably. But it's a scenario that I'm hoping to improve in the future. And hopefully we'll have some cool UI and stuff for it too, but no ETA right now. I'm just doing it in my free time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any cool musical devices within arm's reach right now?
Yeah, plenty, but I don't know if anything would be cool to show on screen. Basically every service in my apartment is covered in various synthesizers and like random circuit boards. So.
Okay. So we got a sneak peek, it looks like, from Jacqueline. Next week, we're going to have Brandon Wright from the NBA.
Ooh, awesome.
On the Thursday stream, to be clear.
I'll have to tell my brother about it. He's a huge fan of the NBA.
Ooh.
All right, let's see how these games are going. It looks like Daryl has added the Sprite data extension. If you're interested in the Sprite data extension, it's a great way to do things like give lives to sprites or give just data that is associated with a single sprite. If you ever tried to do that before in Arcade, you know you have to do this complicated thing with a bunch of arrays, and this makes it a lot easier. That extension was made by Pelly, who is on vacation this week, but usually he does a lot of streams too for MakeCode Arcade, and also our other editors. And you can find that in the extensions dialog. I think it's near the bottom. It's a picture of a duck with like a little word bubble.
I think that was the name that you give the duck or something.
Yeah. And if you go back a few videos in our playlist, Shannon actually made a game earlier this week that used the Sprite data extension. It was a tag game where you had to find someone named Jeremy or other names too.
Broadened our horizons a bit to just anybody. You have to find everybody.
True. We had a lot of fun coming up with names for that list too, so check it out.
Okay. So we're coming in the last 10 minutes now, which I guess is a little bit of a warning. Okay. Not too worried of the looks, so that's a good sign.
All right. We've got 10 minutes left, so we're not going to do any more interviews because we want to give our participants time to code. But just real quick, if you guys could do a thumbs up or thumbs down about how you're feeling right now to the camera. Thumbs down from Daryl, thumbs sideways for Shannon. Pretty good. All right.
As with any non-competition, I think the important part is just getting through it. Right?
Yeah.
Making sure all the ingredients are in and you're halfway there already.
Yeah. So we'll be uploading these games to the forum afterwards so you can play them. And they might do some remixing to finish them off too, depending on how they feel and how dedicated they are to the game that they're making.
So let's see. So it looks like Daryl's using the Sprite data extension to keep track of what type of vegetable it is, I'm guessing. Does that sound right to you, Richard?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But...
Right here. Oh, making it so you don't pick it up when it's invalid, maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I would have to see his code to give more information. But don't zoom out, Daryl. Keep going.
Ooh, it looks like Shannon just won the game.
All right, if you're interested in seeing more games like this made, totally check out our forums. I plugged it earlier, but I'm going to plug it again, forum.makecode.com. We've got lots of people posting games and lots of people posting extensions and other just cool things. It's also a great place to go if you're stuck, you need help, you want some posting on the games. Joey and I watch it like a hawk, so usually one of us will chime in and give an answer pretty quickly. Daryl and Shannon are also very frequent contributors to our forum.
Yeah, I noticed the other day I got some random badge, which is the achievements on Discourse for visiting 365 consecutive days.
Ooh.
That's a lot easier when all my computers and stuff have this as the initial home screen, but no.
Well, that's better than me. I definitely have not done every day for the year, but I don't check it on weekends, but I do check it pretty much every day, multiple times a day. Whenever I feel like I'm not, I want to stop doing work, I will check the forum and see if there's somebody I can help.
Yeah, which is work.
Yeah, it's work. Yeah, that's what I tell myself. That's what I tell my manager.
Okay. Ooh.
Looks like Shannon is doing some tile map work.
Building up new pipes.
Mm-hmm. Gotta say, I like how rough these pipe sprites are. They're very, it's a neat effect.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And I think this is a good example in both games already of what we were talking about earlier with the tile map, and that if you look at it, the background only has a few different tiles in each case, right? There's a few different tiles in Shannon's game for all the different pipes, and in Daryl's game, there's a handful for the walls, and then the ground's all the same. But tiling them next to each other gives a nice effect and makes it look a lot better than you would think a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. It's a great way to reuse art, and also you can use it in some creative ways. If you check out my Game Jam game, which you should not play if you are sensitive to flashing lights, I do some fun stuff with tile maps in that game, and lots of weird glitched out effects. So,
and even if you're just going for something like a little forest, just adding in a bunch of grass and a few flowers can add a lot over just a single image, I guess.
Yep. Having little touches like flowers that just kind of break up patterns makes it look a lot more natural. All right, we're coming up on the 5-minute warning.
Daryl looks very excited.
Daryl doesn't look excited, which is, I mean, I'm looking at his game and it looks pretty cool. He's picking up ingredients, he's moving them around.
Yeah.
Looks like Shannon is filling out her pipes with different orientations.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I should... Okay.
So Joey, what is the favorite game that you've made in arcade?
Ooh, that's a bit of a hard one. I do like the NFL game that I made. We did that for use in Microsoft stores. You can see it at arcade.makecode.com/NFL. It's a little bit wonky because I wanted to make it so you can use all the colors from all the teams. So I have to change the palette to match that. So it's not really one that we want to put on the homepage because it's not easily remixable, but it's fun. I also just
very fun game.
Yeah, I also just really like the hot air balloon game that I made, even if it's a really simple, just like Flappy Duck style thing. It's by far the prettiest game I've made, I think.
It looks very nice. A lot of good colors in it.
Let's see. And what about you? What's your favorite that you've made?
Probably my Game Jam game. That one's a lot of fun. And it has like a story and stuff. And I got way carried away with the graphics, so that was fun too.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the Darker Duck game, which was a fun experiment because I got to do lighting effects. We've actually used those lighting effects a few times on stream. And it was also just kind of a fun game to play, even though it's a little bit too hard because the game kind of cheats.
Mm-hmm. It's got a few colors that like don't quite match up with the lighting, so that you don't see them until you're super close.
Yeah, all right. I already said that it cheats.
If you want to see that extension, the PXT Lantern, I believe, it was used in the bodybuilding cave streams.
Yes.
I don't remember how many there were for that, 2 or 3.
I think there was only 2. By the way, there is nothing fitness related in that game. You are building a literal body, so we call it bodybuilding.
Yeah.
All right, there are 3 minutes remaining.
Well, actually 2 minutes, if we want to look at the
Oh, do you have a thing with
seconds. Yeah, I popped it open from my screen.
All right, you're going to have to do a countdown when we get close.
Mm-hmm. Last time I tried, but I forgot until like 30 seconds after.
Mm-hmm. That's all right.
Okay.
People haven't noticed, we don't do a lot of preparation for these streams. We're trying to get better, and we're still trying to figure out what things work and what things people like to see. So again, if you have any feedback, if you like this kind of stuff, and if you like the other stuff that we do on other days, please just post it in the chat, or if you want to put it on the MakeCode forum. And if you have any suggestions or things that you would really like to see covered, we'd love to hear that stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Will say that I think it is valuable to keep some level of lack of preparation for the code, at least, so you don't just have code already in mind and just robotically put it all in there.
Yeah. We like to kind of collaboratively come up with games too. So that's kind of one of the fun aspects of doing this stream. And also, we are going to keep doing weird stuff for like this on Fridays, just because we have fun doing this. And we had a lot of fun last week. It was kind of a bummer that we didn't have a video to post, but this time we've got the recording going, and it looks like the stream is okay too. So hopefully we'll be able to share it with people.
Let's see, we got 45 seconds as of now. That'll be good to go. Both games looking really good so far.
Yeah, I gotta say, both these games are looking awesome. And Daryl has a look of fierce determination.
Okay.
Oh, I really love the dust cloud for the jump on Shannon's screen.
It's a nice effect, yeah.
Yeah.
Could make that a particle effect sometime.
Oh, and I see Daryl is assembling food and putting it into the thing. It looks like he has a game that
we have 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, answers down. All right, guys, go ahead and unmute if you have not done so already. And I gotta say, both of you guys have done a wonderful job. I've just been watching you guys test your games, and they both look cool and have a very different. Once again, we have two very different interpretations of the theme, so that's always nice to see. All right, does someone want to volunteer to go first and kind of talk about their game? Daryl is pointing at no one, but I think he meant
Wait,
so.
To be fair, Daryl did point at his game.
I can go first.
All right, Shannon. To Shannon's game.
All right. So I haven't included any, lore or anything, but the idea is that you're in a soup restaurant and a pipe has burst somewhere. So you are helping the chef out by, connecting the soup to where it should be. So you can grab the soup blob, and then you have to navigate the world to find the correct color pipe. And there's a bug sometimes where the soup you grabbed is incorrect. I think it happens with the first one, but nope. All right. So you hit the B button to throw the soup, and you have to throw it into the correct pipe. And once you have all 3 of them, the game is over, and you start out with 60 seconds. So if time runs out, then you lose.
Awesome. Love the concept. Love the adorable sprites. Really cool. Are you going to post this to the forum as is, or do you think you're going to do some more stuff on it?
So I'm going to make the pipes bigger. I think a thing that's happening now is that the wall is the size of the tile, so you're like floating a little bit above the pipe. And it makes it hard to calculate where you need to aim your jumps to get up to places. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How did you find the theme? Were the mechanics easy to put into your game, or did you have an idea coming in that you had to abandon?
No, so I wanted to do a game where you're matching ingredients to like an output thing. And that's really all I had, so it was pretty easy to mold it to shape, the wild cards, I guess.
Cool. And did you use any extensions in your project?
Yes, I used 2. I used the animation extension to animate the dust cloud when you jump. And then I used the Sprite data extension, which is here, which you guys talked about, but from Pelly to add the flavor of each soup onto the Sprite.
Cool. Well,
just to reiterate, we had our 3 courses from the 3 types of soup, and we had our pasta as the ramen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. That's my favorite type of pasta.
All right. Well, awesome job. Looks great. And it looks fun too. I look forward to playing this one when it gets posted to the forum. All right, let's hop over to Daryl.
Hey guys. So my game did not really complete, but I'll show you what I got. So you're the snake chef, and you can go around and pick up ingredients. So pick up the bottom of a burger, and then some pasta, some lettuce, and some mustard. I think that's a solid burger. Go pick up the top bun, and then I can go deposit it, and I get 5 points because I had 5 ingredients in it. And this time I'm going, with just onion and lettuce, 2 points. Collect maybe just a whole bunch of buns here. Actually, you can only have one of each type of ingredient. So yeah, that was tricky to code actually. And yeah, you're just handing in ingredients. I couldn't get the order, the upcoming order stuff done in time. I lost a bunch of time getting my picking up ingredients working. Turns out it's pretty tricky, and I'm probably going to make an extension to make this way easier. Also, I found like 3 bugs, so I'll probably fix some of those.
Cool. Well, I gotta say, I really love the animations when you pick up food. I know it's the sprite follow, but it's a really nice effect. And also, as you move around, you can see what the other ingredients are as they kind of like try to catch up with you, and it's a cool effect.
Yeah.
And tossing the burger down the line after you finish it looks really good.
Thanks. I did make it so that the ingredients stay in order that you picked them up. So I used the z-index for that. So you should see that I've got the bun on top, and if I kind of make a trail, it's pretty hard to actually make them into a trail. Then you would see the ingredients in the order that you picked them up.
Awesome. I'll also say your chef hat is definitely recognizable as a chef hat. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks to Google for that one. Shout out.
So did you use any extensions while making your project today?
Sure did. So I used 2. I used the tile map extension, which was very necessary to do all this fancy computation on the locations, because I had to detect when I hit a wall, then take the location left of me and see what's on that, things like that. And then I also use Sprite data. And I only use that for ingredients, keep track of which ingredient they are. So that was going to be used for order fulfillment to make sure you fulfilled the right order, but didn't really get that far. Oh, it's also used to make sure that you only pick up one of each type of ingredient, which was fun.
Cool. Well, this looks awesome. I got to say, even though you didn't finish, I think you definitely have the bones of a good game.
Yeah.
Hard stuff out of the way.
I think I'll probably make an extension to shore up some of the gaps that were really hard to do, and then I'll publish it.
Cool. Were you planning on adding multiplayer to this game? I know Overcooked is a multiplayer game.
Totally could. Yeah. I mean, the controls are just directional, and you could easily do that with multiple keyboards.
Or you could plug in just
multiple
Xbox controllers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Little known feature, but you can actually plug in an Xbox controller or any controller as long as it supports the controller drivers for your system, and play arcade games with it. And we support 2 players too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Some of the controllers end up being a bit weird because they're set up differently than expected, but
yeah,
we try and
we've tested a bunch of them. Xbox controllers definitely work, so we recommend those, not just because we work for Microsoft, but because they're good controllers. All right. Well, I think both of you guys did a fantastic job. So like we said, we're going to be putting these up on the forum later. Might not be today, might be Monday because it's the weekend. But thank you guys so much for participating. I hope you both had fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And I hope you had fun too, Joey.
Oh, yes. Just have to clean my pot again.
Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Remember to stay tuned after this for the MakeCode in the Kitchen stream. I'm Richard, at Richard on the forum.
I'm Joey, at JWanderl on the forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the forum.
I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the forum.
And we'll be back on Monday at 1 p.m., just like we are on every weekday with the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. See you later.
Thanks for watching.